Hey, folks. Ooh, make sure my camera doesn't fall here. It usually does. Welcome back to another edition of, what the hell did I decide to call this show? Oh, yeah. Show and tell what the hell. And it's past my bedtime. I just got home from work a while ago, had myself a snack, and I need to go to bed. But I got this box from Amazon today, and luckily nobody stole it. A little under the weather in Texas. A lot of cedar. A lot of cedar. And I fucking hate cedar because what happens after that is I get allergies, and then the allergies turns into congestion. And I got my little nightcap right here. So we're gonna enjoy my nightcap together. And a good mix of coffee, tequila, and moonshine. No, it's just some decaf. But I wanted to talk about the Primal Age Batman. I was actually, well, even though I got some mixed feelings about the execution of it, I do really like it, and I was really excited to get it. Now, the box came a little bent, so for all you mint on card collectors, Amazon really, in the past month, hasn't really been giving me the greatest of box quality. Got a little nick right here. But I'm going to open this little cocksucker anyway. And just look at the back over here, and it's got some really, really nice art. Doesn't look too, I mean, it looks more contemporary. I would have liked if they had gone with a, if they were really wanting to go with a nostalgia value, I would have gone with like the back of a, gone with the warrior beasts or warlord kind of look. And now, for those of y'all that don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna see if I have it lying around over here. Warlord. Actually, let me fucking pause this thing. Hold on. And we're back. Sorry. I'm gonna bust out Warlord later on. I know where he's at, but instead I have another example to show you. Back in the early '80s, when I was a youngin', Masters of the Universe was a big thing. So a lot of other companies decided to do similar products. And as a result, we got some pretty cool additions to your Masters of the Universe line. You had other stuff, vehicles and assortments that were, and even playsets that could be, you could mix and match with your He-Man characters. You could add them on. And Warlord, the World of the Warlord, was part of the DC line. So you got some DC related figures in there. And I brought one out today. Let's, and again, let me show you the Batman image there. That's pretty cool looking. I'm not saying this is bad art. I'm just saying that with a simple, I remember these old Warrior Beast and Warlord, you turn in the back and they were just a single tone, monotone illustration that just had more of a less detailed, more savage artwork. And if they're trying to go for the retro feel, I think that would have added that little extra touch. Same thing with the background. I would have gone with less illustrator and more of an actual painting. Which to me tells me that they kind of got the idea, but they didn't really want to go all the way with it. But let's open them. I really don't need to use this here because I'm not gonna save it. Let's do it old school. Just tear this mother apart. And let's talk about Batman. I'm going to be real careful because the weather's been bad and people have been complaining about legs and breakage of the legs. And if it breaks, you're going to see it here. Well, this one just popped out. And that was pretty easy to do. And we have this. It feels like there's something going on here that doesn't want to come off. So, doesn't want to move the way it's supposed to. I don't want to move the whole joint and then twist off the entire joint. So I'm going to mess with that later in private. But here's your Batman figure, man. He looks pretty damn cool. I would have opted for a different color scheme, actually. Not the blue is what I'm complaining about. I'm complaining more about, I think he should have been bare-chested all the way. Which I might get another one just to customize that way, because that was the style. You're gonna do that, go all bare chested. Here is your World of the Warlord, but this is actually Hercules, because DC had a Hercules character, much like Marvel did. And I'm going to take a little coffee break here. Ah, that's some good coffee. And of course, I busted out some other examples. Let's take out some of his accessories here. And again, one more look at the package, Primal Age, before I discard it. And so yeah, let's take this out of here. Nice little baggie, so it won't be rattling around in there. And a very war-torn, battle-damaged golden bat sword. And that could fit in his hand. Not the easiest to fit into his hand. And you may just have to like warm it up or just really pry it in there. You know it's not coming off. I'm always wary about these shields that have these kind of little friction open joint things, because you start getting a lot of where the plastic extends too much, and you start seeing these little plastic lines where you know it's going to end up being broken in the future. So let's see how it fits. Whoa, it's going to be a little snug, so I'm going to kind of go in from the top a little bit and rotate it as I would do with some of the figures. But look, it doesn't really all the way fit. Now, okay, there you go. Got to get it right. Make sure not to hit that little spike there. And I guess it fits okay. It looks like it's sturdy, but I'm beginning to see how it stretches out a little bit there. So I would have preferred like some sort of strap or something that he could hold on to. But that's fine. It looks okay with me. I also, design-wise, I would have given him white eyes instead of these. See, his eyes don't look like your... The way it's sculpted, it looks like he's more Hanna-Barbera than anything. He looks kind of like he's got almost like Shaggy eyes, you know? Like the little dots, like, hey, like, you know, I'm Batman here. I always like Batman with the white eyes and also the nose. He looks more like Captain America. If you put this, he looks more like Captain America instead of having the whole nose guard thing going on. And I don't think Batman's ever had that design aspect. I don't know. So that's kind of a first. Otherwise, you know, you get your basic articulation. You know what a He-Man figure should look about. Let's compare him to what he closely resembles, which is interesting because Hercules is a DC property character, I guess, from the time. And he had a series of comics, and I think, what was it, Arak was part of this group too. Arak, of course, was Native American warrior, and then you had Warlord and a few others in the line. I do like Hercules' face. So I am going to do a Warlord video, eventually show you my cool Warlord toy and compare it with the Batman. And I do like the idea that Batman is in the world of the Warlord. Now, some people originally were saying that these were direct copies of the Warrior Beast line bodies. While they do look similar and they use some very similar ideas, they're not the same. It's a whole different sculpt. They do, however, share some same things with the Zorn figure, which I have buried somewhere here in my Transformer numbers. But I got a Jason Funko over here. And again, they're not the same as a He-Man figure. So you could look, let's just show you by like the bicep area. Essentially the same sculpt. And now, Jason seems to be a little bit more well put together. I feel safer with the plastic. There was word about Funko having difficulties with a particular factory in China, and that that factory used didn't give them the exact plastic quality that was needed for this figure here, or this line of figures. So as a result, a lot of people have been talking about breakage. A lot of people, like, and especially with the Thundercats. I haven't gotten the Thundercats yet. I don't think I'm going to get all of them. I mean, maybe just so I can have a He-Man, Batman, you know, Lion-O, and all the heroes, and Jason. So anyway, that's just, it's pretty much for this. It's the Jason Funko line. Now this is your standard Master of the Universe. This is a original WtH, and he's got some gunk over here that I failed to clean up. He's very dirty. I just pulled him out from a box because I'm rearranging some stuff. I had him in the kitchen for a long time. Maybe that's where that gunk figure could be. Let me eat it. No. And his legs are, of course, a little weak. So now the Masters, of course, had these rubber band or rubber leg, these things that would wrap around here so that you can get like, leg extensions, and similar to how like Dolls and Mego were going with that idea, give the character more flexibility to ride on, vehicles or beasts or things like that. Now, what happened with when you got these figures with like the warrior beasts, they started adopting this ball and socket thing. You can't really tell here, and you saw earlier when it popped right out of the box. You got a little ball and socket area there. They didn't have any of that. They didn't have a rubber band up here so that they can do what the He-Man, the battle action that all the He-Mans would do. So it was just more focused on having something that emulated the look of the He-Man figure. And I do actually like what they did here, but it may be a little too bulky for me. I think these original body molds are way better. And some of the people that use them now, like Realms of the Underworld or Zolo World, and I'm going to do a review on them later, they're utilizing some of the older Warrior Beast molds. And plus, these guys got nipples. Who doesn't like nipples? So, yeah, these do set a little not as high. These are a little bit shorter. Now, seeing that his legs are a little bit lankier, he is roughly the same height as, and he looks a little bit taller here. Well, you know what? If WtH had his feet correctly placed, you know what? I mean, I think the anatomy of the He-Man figure seems to be a little less exaggerated, considering, I mean, he's got more neck than Batman, and Batman does have the cape. It's less bulky than the Batman. Or the Funko design. So, oddly enough, I think the He-Man figures or Masters of the Universe figures, maybe a little bit slightly more, and I'm using the term loosely, and anatomically correct body-wise. Because these guys seem a lot more chunkier, the head looks a lot bigger, and it could be due to this cape, which I believe can be removed. Yeah, and it's a nice flexible plastic. You could get a He-Man toy and put this on there, so that's pretty cool. Let's see what, if you want to customize some of your old figures. I may actually try to do a custom Warlord, or get another Warlord figure, and use this same kind of cape. Yeah, pretty cool. Why not? Why not? Let's see what WtH looks. Maybe you can see the heads on these old He-Man figures were great because they were squeezable. Squeezable vinyl, rubbery, and that added to the I guess, well, I don't know, I'm not going to do it all the way. It added to the safety aspect of it, and it also added, see, the head comes off here too. Let's take off Jason's, see what that happens there. It added to the safety, well, actually Jason's does not want to come off here. That one just really popped. I don't know if that was a mistake or what. But Jason's does not want to come off. I don't want to push it any further. But I think one of the design aspects is for the years for safety reasons to have that. However, these are very, very sharp still. Can Batman ride a standard Masters of the Universe vehicle? Sure, not with the cape though. I could tell already. I'm really careful. I don't want to mess up the feet, so I could just stand them up there. And there you go. You want to do that. I mean, I would recommend this for anyone who has an extensive Masters of the Universe collection and wants to add a little bit of variety and say, hey, I've always wanted to have a Batman in the Masters line. Yeah, that's cool. I don't think I'm going to get the entire collection. I think I will. I'm interested in getting actually Mr. Freeze because he looks like he'd be a cool villain that Skeletor would have in his group. But yeah, no, I'm happy I got them. Like I said, they're on Amazon right now. You could probably get them on like BBTS and other toy stores online. But let me see, the crotch piece is a little flexible here, which may have cost them a little bit more money. I think they could have. I don't know. I'm trying to see if there's a way. I mean, it's about $12, which is I think is a decent. It's a fair price. Whereas your Super 7 He-Mans, those are roughly about $20. But they don't have the ball and socket joint thing here. And Super 7's got its own issues right now, as does Funko, oddly enough. But I think my issue with Funko is the fact that they Super 7 really started doing these next to Realm of the Underworld is the first one that I saw doing it, but Super 7 started releasing these special edition Masters demonic little figures with skull heads that were for a special new episode they made, and a possessed Skeletor, which is like everyone was surprised. I'm like, wow, a 5.5 line or a 5 3/4 line. That's pretty creative. That's pretty ballsy. Then Funko goes and steals the thunder a little bit and gets them distributed at Target, which is cool, I guess. I think a lot of people, we'll see. I mean, we'll see if the mass market is into these. So far, a lot of the horror figures that I've seen out, I have not seen many Jasons. I'd like to get another Jason just to kind of paint him up or switch bodies and give him more of a traditional look with something else. But I've seen a lot of Freddy's on the shelf. And you know what? As I'm disappointed as I was with Freddy, I may want to try to pick him up. I got the Raiden figure because it was on sale. For like, I probably picked him up. It came out to like $6, which for $6, I would definitely pick up all of these. I do want to get the Wonder Woman because I do like them female figures. But let me take a little coffee break over here. But I don't know if Super 7 would ever watch this, given that I only have 45 subscribers at the moment. But I would encourage him to keep being innovative to a point where they can appeal to the collectors, people who appreciate this retro kind of stuff, and at the same time they can also still try to get stuff out to the mass market. I think they're doing a good job. As a matter of fact, I think they're doing a terrific job. And yes, they've hit a couple of snags, and it's been pointed out online. But like I said, on one hand, they're developing things for Masters Universe. I hope to see them at mass retail. But they're also recently they unveiled some Mazinger figures that are 3 3/4. Now, I don't want to give too many people ideas. But I can think of other figures that Super 7 can do, other licenses that could do it at this scale, using actual Masters of the Universe bucks. So give it a little bit more authenticity. Because these figures are eternally known when it comes to Masters. I mean, when it comes to Warlord or Suko, Remco, those figures, Galaxy Warriors, they're all still considered Masters of the Universe knockoffs. Not like Chinese knockoffs, but the idea. So I would consider Funko to be doing a Remco knockoff of Super 7, Super 7's idea. Now, I said the execution is what I have a problem with. I think the delivery, it's presentable, but as far as just, hey, we got this cool idea and people are going to love it. It's like, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, whoever helped finance it, I mean, the licensors and all that, and Target going for it. I mean, Funko are capitalizing more on their ridiculous Funko Pops, which I do believe in the future we're going to see buildings built out of discarded Funko Pops. So that enables them to do stuff like this. I'd encourage Funko to get a little bit more creative. Now, we are now in 2019, and figures, to find a good figure, my thing is, I like articulation in a figure now. You know, I do like, I appreciate throwbacks. I will buy it, not all of it, and and I'll buy it on clearance. But what happens when nostalgia begins to fizzle out? And that's my thing, you know. And at the same time, we had these amazing G.I. Joe figures, the 25th anniversary G.I. Joe figures. I don't know if I have one right now here. I'm looking around. Um, my entire house is a man cave, but no, I don't have that. And if there is a way to get those out, and those were roughly about $10 at the store when they came out at Walmart. So get something like that in a master's line or something like that with decent articulation. Get some thigh and knee and elbow and what is that? The shoulder bone, neck bone. Get articulation on that at 3 3/4 scale, and you could get something at a reasonable price point. Keep it under $12.99, and you don't have to include so many accessories. And that's the thing that Hasbro started doing, is that, like, well, we're going to put out these G.I. Joe figures, we're going to increase the price point, we're going to throw in these giant missiles and missile launchers that everyone's just going to lose and nobody cares for. I got a pretty good Bruce Willis figure, but he had a giant missile launcher that wasn't even in the movie, and the missile launcher looked so ridiculously sci-fi that didn't even match with the aesthetic of it. And they started doing that with Star Wars too. So you get Star Wars with less articulation, less detail, less paint apps, but we're going to throw in all these other little accessories that nobody wants. So give us something $10 and under with some pretty decent articulation, and I think people will be happy. Now, with this scale, I'd like to see some people explore this scale again, but I think this could have used a thinner body, a little thinner right here, thinner top torso, and a slightly smaller head, and maybe thinner thighs, and just give it more of a I don't know. I mean, I think the Turtles did that because the Turtles were generally the same. Think of something like Casey Jones or Rat King, which seemed a little bit more anatomically correct. So anyway, so this is my little review here, and feel free to comment. I really am curious. I do read my comments. I appreciate even the negative ones that say that I ramble on too much. But again, this is show and tell. What the hell? This is more about a discussion about figures rather than just reviewing what they do, because I like people to explore the figure for themselves. Would I recommend this? It's at the price point, yeah. Now, let me bring the box out before I go. And what I'm planning to get out of here, I'm going to skip Green Lantern. I'll get them on the cheap just for extra accessories. I do really like Mr. Freeze and King Shark. I think Joker's just a little too silly, though. You know, they really should have changed him up. Given him a mask or something, or I don't know. Scarecrow, very cliche, basic looking Scarecrow. Would have liked a big hat on him instead of the hood. How come Freddy Krueger didn't get a hat either? And they gave him a hood. What's the deal with hoods? Wonder Woman. I'm probably going to pick her up. So Wonder Woman, these two guys right here. Another Batman. Not sold on Aquaman. Really not sold on Aquaman. I don't know, maybe customize him and make him into some sort of Zeus-like character. Anyway, so again, I apologize for the big mess over here, and the lighting and all that. It's just really quick stuff that I do, and I don't really edit it down. I just get it and post it up for you. But hey, man, if I get more than 200 subscribers one of these days, I may be more tempted to do stuff like that. I do want to get a different backdrop just to make it look a little cooler, and I got some ideas, and I know it's the beginning of 2019. I haven't really started on that yet. I got a lot of stuff. I got a show to do tomorrow, and I run the website. I got merchandise for other properties and things coming out. So please check out the website, pteranodonmedia.com. Check out our Instagram. I'm mostly on that. And a lot of it has to do with horror movies. Also got a horror showcase in Austin, Texas. So any of the people in Austin area, come check it out. Hit me up. Little events where we show horror movies and have heavy metal, punk rock, and stuff like that. Anyway, folks, we'll catch you next time. And I actually got some stuff sooner than later that I'm going to be showing off. Some very interesting other tidbits. Some thrift store. That sounded like Sean Connery. I got some thrift store materials. I do got some thrift store stuff. that I am excited to show you guys. I got some dollar store stuff. I got some very interesting stuff that I found at the dollar store that I actually really can't wait to show off to you guys. Anyway, take care, and we'll see you later on.